Hi there, and welcome to the Choreomundus Alumni Podcast. We are so glad you're here. Choreomundus is an Erasmus Mundus International Master's Program in dance, knowledge, practice, and heritage. In this podcast, you will hear inspiring conversations from our alumni community as we share our stories, research, and life after Choreomundus, celebrating the many ways dance continues to move through our worlds. My name is Olabanke Goriola, and I have right here with me Maira. And today we felt it would be great to talk about our lives before we applied for Choreomundus, our biggest challenges during Choreomundus, what we enjoyed the most, and our life after Choreomundus. So, Maira, can you please tell us about yourself and explore some of these questions I just put on the ground?
Hi, Olabanke. I'm so glad to be here with you. So, my name is Maira Vieira Rodrigues. I'm from Brazil and I'm a dance teacher since 2007. When I applied to Choreomundus, it was right after the pandemic in 2021 that I applied and I was working with dance in carnival groups in Brazil, and also I was looking for next challenges, something to shake my life, you know. I really need something new, and I was missing study in general, like academia. So this was my life before Coromundus. And how was it for you, Olabanke?
Before Choreomundus, so I applied to Choreomundus in 2018. In 2018, because I remember I got the result or the feedback that I got into Choreomundus around March, April-ish. And at that time, I was doing the national service. If you're in Nigeria and you know the compulsory service you're supposed to do, it's called NYSC. But prior to that, I had wanted to apply to Choreomundus in 2017. I was in my final year. I was in my third year rather, or maybe 2016 or 2017, I can't remember. But I was in my third year and I realized that I had just missed the window, and also I had not finished school because it was a friend of mine that actually sent me the Choreomundus information. She was like, "Oh, I saw this application and I thought you would do well." So she sent me the link, and when I checked, I realized I needed to be done with my undergrad. So in my final year, I decided to apply, but then I took a pause. Then during my NYSC year, I put in the application. So it was just after undergrad, then I did the NYSC, then I immediately got into Choreomundus. So I really didn't have any break. And I think for me, it was the first thing I heard was, oh, it's a master program that has to do with dance. And at that time, I was an undergrad who was majoring in dance and choreography, and I was minoring in scenic design. So the only thing I had was a dance master, and I was like, okay, which I've never heard about any masters that is in dance, especially when you come from a country where people really don't regard dance as something you should explore academically.
Oh,
And
I
but
see.
then I saw it was yeah, then I saw it was something that would also take me outside the country, and who doesn't want to explore life outside your home country? So that was just
Yes,
it for me. Yeah, it was immediately after undergrad I did my NYSC, and I was excited I got into Choreomundus. So yeah, it was pretty
oh,
chill. Yeah.
there is something different from when I applied for Coromundus and when you applied for it because I finished my second undergraduation course in 2017. So
Oh.
I entered in Coromundus a bit older, and this was something really that really impact my experience. I think it's really different when you go there and you are pretty young and when you go
Yeah.
there a bit older. Yes, and about this feeling of willing to live abroad,
Mm-hmm.
this was exactly what catch me from Coromundus because always dreamed about studying abroad with a scholarship, studying dance, and living in several countries for that. So
That's
Coromundus was like everything I was dreaming about.
yeah, that actually makes sense because yeah, you're right. Because I think I finished undergrad at a normal age. I was in my 20s, but as at the time I finished my undergrad, I was the second or third youngest person in my class. So you're actually right because when I got into Choreomundus, or when I got the scholarship result and I realized I was the only one selected from Nigeria that year, and I told my brother, I told my friends, people didn't believe. They thought it was going to be a scam. And they're like, oh, which scholarship would give you this opportunity to travel to 4 countries? And all of them were like, just be careful. I hope someone is not trying to scam you. Then
Oh,
I was receiving emails from Elise to um, fill some forms, sign some papers. I think the only reason why I kept going and I didn't really think that, well, I believe Coromundus was real. I wouldn't like, because I had a friend who was already in the program and he was in his final year by the time I got into, I think it was in his final year by the time I got into Coromundus. His name is Bayo. I think Bayo Bayo was in cohort 5, I think. Yeah, Bayo was in cohort 5. So I know Bayo was in the program, Emmanuel Ndefo was in the program. So I knew people that were already in the program that were also Nigerians. And I knew it wasn't scam, but I was always trying to explain to people that this program is legit. I have people that I know that are in the program, and most of them didn't believe until I actually packed my bag and I traveled to France and I made a phone call from France to tell them, okay, I am here. And they were like, oh, so the program is real. And
yeah.
I also I also wanted to like travel outside the country, and I had the opportunity, and I felt like it was a great opportunity to go to 4 countries.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I got into the program young, but and immediately right from undergrad. So I think my experience will be definitely different from yours because I had not really gained much work experience besides my NYSC program. So yeah, I
Oh,
think
I
that's
see.
definitely going to
But
influence
you
the
were
remaining
talking
2 years. So tell
about
me, how
how
was it?
I get I no I guess no I guess your first challenge was convince your friends and your family that you were going to a legit program. But now thinking about thinking about your process during Coromundus, what do you
Mm-hmm.
think that were your biggest challenges and what did you enjoy the most?
Okay. I think my biggest challenge is, and I think I already articulated this to Professor Georgiana when she was trying to collate some information about life during and post Choreomundus for a conference. So I think it's just something I'm going to say again, in a very light way. What I enjoyed the most was actually traveling. I had this dream of traveling outside the country, and it's fun to travel when you have someone funding you. So what I enjoyed the most was traveling. That was the first time I was leaving Nigeria, and look at me traveling to France, to Hungary, to Norway, to the UK, and then I had the opportunity to go to Brazil for my field work. So Cormudus would definitely be the traveling, living with multiple people. I grew up in a very nuclear family, so besides my brother's friends that used to come around, I'm not really from an extended family. So having to be with a cohort of almost, I think we were 25 in my cohort before some people dropped out of the program due to some personal decisions. But having to travel with 25 people as a cohort and being in class with them. And it's a different thing if you're in class with 25 people that are all Nigerians. Every single
Mm-hmm.
person came from different countries. So it was a culture shock to me. I was grappling with understanding some the different ways people understand things. I could say something that would come out sensitive, but I could say it to a Nigerian colleague that he or she would just laugh it off. So I think as someone who is very curious and always wanting to learn new things, I think being with people and trying to learn people gradually was one of the things that I found really interesting and fun. Then, traveling, going to different countries. I tried learning most of the languages, but that is another story. That is a story for another day, rather. So I would say the traveling and the people, and also trying new foods and just seeing what I used to see on TV, then actually seeing it in person. What I really didn't like the most. I think everybody would probably relate to this. I think it's the paperwork. I Right now, as I speak, I feel like I am an expert at filling visa applications. So what I didn't like was the paperwork, so having to ask for advice or suggestions, especially I think I struggled a bit with the paperwork going to France, but Norway was a little bit calm and chilled. Paperwork, trying to get bank statement, financial documents, all those things. So that would be one thing I would say I really didn't enjoy. But then I needed the paperwork to actually enjoy Choreomundus because I needed the paperwork to
Yeah.
travel. And what else? What else? Oh yeah, also dancing. I did a couple of dance projects in Norway. I danced with Ronald. Ronald was a lecturer at NTNU. He's from Uganda, so I danced with Ronald, with Lenini, with so a couple of friends. So there were a lot of things I enjoyed, and I really do not want to talk too much because I want to know what you enjoyed, considering the fact that we are coming from different countries. Oh, and for people who don't know, I'm from Nigeria, so I really want to know what you enjoyed and what you really didn't like the most about Choreomundus. So, Maira.
So I think I can relate with some things you said, but I will start with my challenges because they came out first. You know, I needed to face them first because I think my biggest challenge was right on the beginning of the master. When
Okay.
I arrived in Norway and the darkness came, I wasn't prepared for that at all. Everyone told me, you need to take some vitamin D. Everyone gave me so many advices, and I was so stupid because I thought, oh, we are adults, you know, we know it's just weather. How can this affect me that much? And then when I arrived in Norway and the days became shorter, really
Mm-hmm.
short,
Mm,
I it took me like 3 months until I could understand what was happening with me. But I had energy to do nothing, nothing. And I am such an energetic person. Everyone knows me for that here in Brazil. And I
mm-hmm.
had energy to do nothing. I just want to sleep all the time. I was always in a bad mood, always in a bad mood. And
Oh my,
I thought about gave up of the program because I was thinking, how can I?
serious.
Yes, yes, right from the beginning, I was thinking, how can I be here in living my dream and I'm not happy? So
Mm,
that's something, there is something really, really wrong. And then
mm-hmm.
when I noticed it was because of the darkness, I was so relieved. I was okay, so I'm not the
Mm,
problem. I just
mm-hmm.
need to handle this, and it's not easy. So I think this was my biggest challenge because really
Okay.
in November I almost gave up of the program.
Wow.
I just didn't give up because before leaving Brazil I made so many farewell parties. I thought, how can I go back? I cannot go back home.
Oh, you know
So
what? I totally hear you. It doesn't make sense to, you've packed your bags, you've told all your friends, oh, I'm traveling, I'm going to any different countries. And then a few months later, you're like, I'm back.
yes, how? I couldn't. I couldn't.
How
So
are you going to
I
face them? Like, how would you have faced them? How would you have faced your friend that I'm back?
yes, no way, I couldn't. And that's the reason I didn't give up. So, but I'm really glad I didn't give up because when I learned how to navigate it, when I made new friends in Norway and I
Mm-hmm,
started going out with them, I met a community of Brazilians that we became friends. I went back to Norway twice to visit them already after Coromundus. So
mm-hmm.
this really helped me to navigate through this bad weather.
I would let you know that I was too excited to be traveling and I forgot the darkness of Norway didn't really get to me. I was sleeping a lot.
Oh,
I wouldn't deny that. I slept a lot because of the darkness,
yes,
but I think I was
it's
just too
impossible.
excited that
Yes,
so
yes,
I hear
and this
you.
was
I
good.
can't yeah, it
This was
was.
good
I
for
can't
you.
remember if I took vitamins actually. I cannot remember. But I
I
know
I I hadn't enough apparently.
But
So I think
how was it like? How was life living with people from like different countries, communities? How did you manage to get along with people?
Oh, I think this part was not that bad, apart from the moment in which I was living with some dirty people. Then it was really bad, but I quickly changed um, my
Oh,
my my
can you hear
room
me?
again. And then I was living with nice people. So I think this was good because when you are with good people, nice people, they try to make this cultural shock smaller by introducing you to their culture, asking you about your culture. So everything becomes a big exchange. So this was good. This wasn't my biggest challenge. So I guess my biggest challenge was about the darkness and then about the bureaucracy when we were moving from one country to another. But I guess this was a challenge just because the bureaucracy is something you need to start from zero every time you are moving to a new country. So this is it's more like a boring thing actually. Yes, so I think this is about my challenges. And then about the part I most enjoyed about the program is I think is more about the cultural shock you mentioned before. This was something hard to deal, but from the moment we
Can you hear me?
started to learning from each other, to sharing more, I think this was really good. I had a friend, a really good friend, Usman from Nigeria, and it was really good and impressive for me to
Oh,
learn more
shit.
about my own culture by learning more about
Can you hear
Nigerian
me?
culture. So this was really, really good. Also, I could develop several projects. I teach some classes in Norway. Actually, in every country I went to, I teach it some classes. In Norway, I participate from a performance with a group from Finland. Yes, so I was talking about the challenges first, mainly the darkness, a bit about the cultural shock, about the bureaucracy in each country, and then
Hmm.
talking about what I most enjoyed in the program. I think it's more
Mm-hmm.
about even if we have this cultural shock, at the same time, we
Mm-hmm.
can learn so many things from different cultures, from our colleagues, from the conveners, from people we know in each place we live in, people who are
Mm-hmm.
sharing a room, an apartment with us. So I think this
Mm-hmm.
is a part that I really enjoyed. Also, of course, the traveling. I loved that I could travel to several countries. I got to know places I really, really dreamed about know them. And also, I could teach several dance classes in everywhere I went. So I teach it
Okay.
in several countries, starting by Norway. I made a performance in Norway. I participated in a performance with a group from Finland. Also, I could teach a bit of samba in NTNU with a Nigerian professor that is doing his PhD there. And then, so I guess I had this good experiences, and I think this was what I most enjoyed. Also, it was really good for me to learn a bit more about how to do researches,
Okay.
because I think I have never studied before, mainly not that deeply, how
Okay.
to do more researches, different
Okay.
methods of researching. So I think this was really good for me.
That makes sense. So let us move to life after Choreomundus. So what are you currently doing, or what have you been doing since the end of? So you graduated when? When did you graduate?
I graduated in July 2024,
Oh, okay.
2 years
So
ago.
what have you been? Wow, that's so. What have you been doing?
So first, I need to say that right after Choreomundus, actually on the last month of Choreomundus, I was totally desperate because I couldn't see what was coming next. I didn't had like properly plans apart from going back to Brazil, and I
Okay.
didn't want my life returning to the same point I left it here. I wanted to do something different.
Mm-hmm.
But then, when I finished Choreomundus, I was working in a bar, in a Brazilian bar in London, and I got
Okay.
an invitation to
Wow.
create a dance section of a carnival group in Barcelona. And
Wow.
Barcelona is the city I've dreamed about knowing it. I really
Wow.
love Barcelona.
That's
when we had our first vacation in Choreomundus, I went there for 1 month after field work because I
okay.
really dreamed about knowing this city. So I went there, I started this dance section. I teach it some classes there. It's still desperate, it's still without knowing about my future. And then I got a job, a freelance job with a content creator called Ed People. He travels the world asking people, can you teach me your favorite dance move? And I become his personal and executive assistant. And I'm
Okay.
working with him until today. This is really great. I love this job. I love working with Ed. I was a fan of him before I got this job. And then I
Okay.
came back to Brazil. I came back to my job as a dance teacher, mainly in dance sections of carnival groups. I work now in 4 carnival groups in my city, Belo Horizonte, which
Okay.
has the third biggest carnival in Brazil. And also, I'm always doing several different projects. And another project I have is I got government fundings to go back to Barcelona and
Wow.
do the dance section again. So last year, 2025, I spent
Wow.
2 months in Barcelona. I teach dance there. I went back to Trondheim. I teach dance there too. And also I could teach in Croatia, in Zadar.
Wow. And
So that's why,
traveling. You've been traveling. You've been living the world. I'll be living the life rather.
yes. And I noticed that this is what I want to do for now. I don't want to create like roots in any place. I'm most of my time in Brazil, of course, but I'm willing to travel more. I'm doing my plans and preparing everything to have
Okay.
more travels on the next year, on this year actually. So yes, I think my life now is basically try to travel as most as I can. What about you?
Well, you've been traveling. I think I've been traveling also. So post Choreomundus, I think I fell in love with research, and I thought I needed a stronger foundation in research. So post Choreomundus, I did a second master's at the University of Edinburgh, and my dissertation during Choreomundus was on Candomblé. Um, and I went to your city. I was in Belo I was in Belo Horizonte for three and a half months. So I was researching the Candomblé, the Afro-Brazilian Candomblé religion and the Orisha dances. And I think after Coremundus, I was still interested in exploring that topic, but then it was during COVID. So I did a second master's at the University of Edinburgh in religious studies this time around, since my work was on ritual dance. And after my 1 year program, I applied to several PhD programs because I knew I wanted. So post before Choreomundus, I knew I really wanted to do a PhD. So I think I had my I set out for what I needed to do. So during Choreomundus, I was applying. During Choreomundus, I was applying to master's program and PhD programs. I got into a couple of PhD programs during Choreomundus, but there were no funding, so I decided to take the master's scholarship I got to do a second master's. And then when I was in Scotland for 1 year, I applied to other PhD programs, and I got into my dream school, which was Northwestern. So I'm currently a fifth year PhD candidate at Northwestern, writing my dissertation, and hoping to graduate next year. Fingers crossed. I I am currently writing a dissertation on colorism in the entertainment industry. So colorism has to do with skin tone discrimination. So I'm writing about skin tone discrimination in the entertainment industry. And late last year, I decided to start an NGO as a way of advocating against skin bleaching practices. So my NGO is tied to my research. It's more like an applied aspect of my research. So currently, I'm juggling writing my dissertation, hoping to become a doctor by the end of this year or mid next year. And I'm also
Oh,
yeah, I know, right? Time flies. So my program
time
is 5 to 6
flies.
years. My program is 5 to 6 years, so I'm hoping to be done soon, and then I would have time to either explore other academic jobs or focus more on my NGO and see where I can push this whole topic of colorism, skin bleaching practices, skin tone discrimination. So right now I'm trying to live it one day at a time because as someone who also likes to plan, I've realized some things do not go according to your plan. So I
Mm-hmm.
have my plans, but I'm still also living one day at a time to see what opportunities can come around. So hopefully, and I also need to, focus on writing this dissertation. We've all written dissertation and we know how stressful it can be. So I'm
Yeah.
trying to, focus on writing this dissertation. So I think that's what I'm doing post. Yeah, that's what I'm currently doing. I've been going to the gym. I became a gym rat.
Whoa,
Just to have extracurricular activities and not just focus on education. So yeah, I think that's what we are doing. I'm doing, and I think I like the fact that you've been traveling. I love traveling. I've been doing a lot of traveling, also doing my PhD program. I've been attending conferences. I think I've been able to go to Ghana. I've been able to go to Colombia for a dance residency. I've gone to Ethiopia. I've gone to Canada. I've presented in the US. So I've had opportunities, to
that's
travel.
great.
Yeah, and I think Choreomundus kind of sets that platform for me because I
Uh-huh.
wouldn't lie that those 2 years I spent at Choreomundus were extremely insightful, and it laid the foundation for, okay, I really want to be invested in research, and I got that from Choreomundus. So yeah,
That's great. That's great. It's really
so
good to know what happened on people's lives after Coromundus. I think this
mm-hmm,
can inspire a bit those who are currently living Coromundus now, or even
yeah,
those who are willing to
yeah,
do their application to the program, right?
right, right, yeah, and I think for Coromundus, it can be scary, especially because it feels like you're testing new waters that you've never been into. And when you've never been into
Yes.
something, there's that fear of what am I going to see on the other side. But sometimes it's always good to go on to just take that leap of faith, that one step. And because I wouldn't, I personally would say I enjoyed Choreomundus. I know we had ups and downs, different
Hmm.
arguments, challenges, cultural shocks, cultural differences. But I personally, if you ask me over and over, will I redo Choreomundus? Absolutely. Those 2 years I spent traveling to 5 countries, I would say would forever be in my heart. So absolutely, I would do Coremundus again, and I'll be open to,
Yes.
if they could increase our stipend.
I can say the same. I would totally be up to do it again. I
Exactly.
think it's a really it's a really great experience. Even the challenges that we talked about, I think at the end they help us somehow
Mm,
with the whole process. We learned a lot. There's something
mm.
we totally can say about Coromodus. We learned a lot, not
I
only
learned.
professionally, but also
Mm-hmm.
personally, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it becomes easy when you come to Coromundus with that mindset of things will not be perfect, and I'm here to learn and be open to learning. I
Yes.
think many people are really closed off to learning, and then when they encounter something, they're like, "Oh, it didn't go my way. I feel bad." It's Yeah, but when you just know, okay, this is a new experience. Maybe because I love exploring new experiences. I take
Uh-huh.
risks. I take risks a lot in my life. So when you enter that program with, okay, this is a new experience. Let's see how it goes, then you would be able to just be like water, just flow like water, and then whatever life brings across your way or along your way, you are able to tackle it. So I would say I would do Kurumundus again, over and over and over
Yeah.
again.
Yes, me too.
So you
Oh,
do
it was
you
really good to
have
talk to you,
anything else?
Olabanke.
It was nice to talk to you, to Myra, and I'm hoping
And
people who are listening have learned one or two things from this informal conversation.
yes, yes. And we are glad that we could make the first episode of the Curumundus Alumni podcast, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I am glad to be doing this with you also, and I'm hoping The next episodes will also be insightful, and um yeah, looking forward to listening to the next episode. I hope you have a great day and you enjoy the rest of your day, Maira.
I can tell you the same, Olabanke. Thank you so much, and we are
Yes.
waiting for the next episode. Yay!
Yep. 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 Bye.
Bye bye.